1. Halada's Law. The most difficult task is best assigned to the laziest employee. It is assumed that he will find a quick and high-quality way to solve it. He will not want to redo it 100 times, complicating his life. Therefore, he is more likely to do the job well at once. All in all, an interesting thought. But a lazy person is not the same as a slacker. They can also be irresponsible. 2. Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. And of all the possible worst situations, the worst will happen. This applies to negative attitudes. What we focus on is what we get. What we fear, life gives us to live and get rid of this fear. 3. Richard's Rule of Interdependence. What you keep for a long time and do not use, you can and should throw away. But, it often happens that once you throw something away, you will need it. A person often wants something they don't have. But if a thing doesn't bring you joy, it won't. And it drags energy with its unnecessary presence. So don't spare it. In its place will come a new one. 4. Ettere's observation. The neighboring queue always moves faster. And if you move into it, it will be the opposite. The one from which you left will move faster. The main thing here is not to get mixed up. We choose the queue we need. To be in the right place at the right time. Well, delayed a little, perhaps this delay saved from something. 5. Law of Meximan. There is always not enough time to get the job done right. But there is time to redo it. The rush, the hustle and bustle creates the appearance of lack of time. When we are pushed and rushed, 50% of people panic from stress and start making mistakes. You have to do everything at your own pace. 6. The Law of Search. What you need lies either in the most visible or in the most unexpected place. So the most unexpected ones are where you can start. As sometimes the thing finds itself once we let go of the situation. 7. Peter's Principle. Man is competent to the level of his incompetence. In any hierarchical structure, a person inevitably progresses to the position where he or she will cease to be a quality worker. As a competent worker moves up the hierarchical ladder, he becomes less and less competent. And gets stuck there as he ceases to be promoted. 8. Kahn and Orban's axiom. If nothing else works, finally read the instructions. We rarely read them, skipping the obvious things, thinking it's clear enough as it is. 9. Hanlon's razor. More often than not, anything you think is malicious is not done on purpose. If someone has wronged you, chances are they did it unintentionally, and out of their pain. As the saying goes, not to hurt you, but to make yourself feel good. If you were in his shoes, you would do the same. Or the second option, just without thinking, foolishly. Therefore, you should not blame people for their evil acts that are not such. 10. Law of Poe. Joking on acute topics must be made with the obligatory indication that it is a joke. Otherwise, there is usually someone who will take the statement seriously. That's for sure. But even with this clarification, still will accept. So it is better to joke on sharp topics with those who are sure that they will understand the joke. 11. Finagle's fourth law. If something went wrong, then any attempts to save the situation can only worsen it. So sometimes it's best to leave things alone. There's no need to make excuses. Who treats you well, and himself will justify. And who is bad, for that you will remain guilty and after excuses. 12. Gamperson's Law. Your desire is inversely proportional to the probability of achieving the desired result. If you want something very much, everything around you, as if on purpose against you, to find something you cannot, that traffic jams. In general, you need to remove the importance and let go. Trust life. It gives exactly as much as we are willing to lose. 13. Pareto's Law. 20% of effort gives 80% of the result. And vice versa. 20% of clients bring 80% of profit. Developing your strengths, you become effective with less energy, weeks trying to develop what is badly given. Valid in all areas. 14. The third law of Chisholm. Any suggestion you make is bound to be interpreted differently than you mean it. Everyone is different and thinks differently. If we knew how often we are misunderstood, we would keep quiet. 15. Old and Kahn's law. The more people involved in a meeting and the more time you spend on it, the less effective it is. In other words, the effectiveness of a meeting is inversely proportional to the number of participants and the time spent. Remember the comedy club commercial, nail it or glue it? 16. Parkinson's law. The more time we allocate to a job, the longer it will take us to do it. The work will be done in the time frame you set aside for it. Even if you can complete a task in one day, and you set a deadline by the end of the week, the work will still not be done before the deadline. 17. Young's law. All great discoveries are made by mistake. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Only after a few mistakes can one arrive at a great result. 18. Fingale's 8th rule. Teamwork is very important. It allows you to put the blame on someone else. The more a person is responsible for something, the less likely it is to be done well. Each person will shift responsibility to the other. 19. The sausage principle. Those who love sausage and respect the law should not see both done. No less, sleep more soundly. 20. Harrison's postulate. For every action, there is an equal countervailing criticism to it. You can never be satisfied with 100% of the people. And that's fine. You just have to keep that in mind. And separate the constructive from the blah blah blah. 21. Drew's law of professional practice. He who pays the least, complains the most. And those who don't pay are not happy at all. The good received for free is not valued. This is especially true of knowledge.